Marriage, a solemn commitment where two individuals pledge eternal love and unwavering fidelity. Yet, in certain circumstances, this sacred union can unravel in the most unexpected ways. This story delves into a heart wrenching case where love, deceit, and a devastating secret collide at the altar. Patrick and Coraline were a couple deeply in love, having dated for 4 years, engaged and seemingly inseparable. Their families approved, and their future together seemed bright. However, unknown to Coraline, Patrick was entangled in a clandestine affair with another woman, Aurora. Their affair had spanned 2 years, shrouded in secrecy, while Patrick maintained his facade of devotion to Coraline. Coraline, consumed by love, believed she had found her soulmate in Patrick. He too wanted to sever ties with Aurora and move forward with Coraline, fearing the stigma of infidelity. He viewed their affair as a fleeting flame, a temporary distraction from his true love. Weeks before their wedding, Aurora revealed a life-altering secret to Patrick. She was pregnant, and the child was his. This news sparked a whirlwind of emotions within him. His heart tugged at the thought of a child growing up fatherless. Suddenly, his feelings for Aurora rekindled, and their bond deepened, fueled by the shared responsibility of parenthood. The unfaithful couple, their hearts now intertwined by a child, made vows of love and forever, solidifying their commitment to each other. The wedding day arrived, and everyone gathered to celebrate Patrick and Coraline's union. Coraline, brimming with joy, surrounded by her family and friends, was blissfully unaware of the impending heartbreak. Time ticked by, and an hour passed, leaving Coraline increasingly anxious about the groom's absence. The phone finally rang, shattering the tense silence. Coraline picked up, her heart pounding with anticipation. It was Patrick, his voice trembling with a mixture of guilt and desperation. "Coraline," he began, "I'm so sorry, but we can't get married. I love another woman, and we're running away together. I wish you happiness. She's pregnant, and we're having a baby. My child won't grow up without a father." The words hit Coraline like a physical blow. Shock and devastation washed over her. "How can you be such a scoundrel, Patrick?" she choked out, her voice laced with pain. "You're despicable. You deceived me all this time." Patrick stammered, his voice filled with nervous apologies. "I'm so sorry, Coraline. I didn't want it to be like this. I was in a relationship with Aurora, but I never left you. I was confused, but now I know I love her. I'll live with her and my child. Forgive me. I wish you happiness and hope you find someone who truly loves you. It wouldn't be fair to keep deceiving you and myself. I'm sorry, Coraline." Coraline's tears flowed freely. "I did everything for you," she sobbed, her voice laced with betrayal. "And this is how you repay me? Okay, I'll just tell you one thing. In this life, everything is paid back. And one day, life will charge you for what you did to me. This isn't a curse, it's fate." With that, she hung up the phone, her face etched with sadness and disappointment. Turning to the stunned guests, she announced, "To everyone here, it is with great sadness that I announce there will be no wedding. The groom broke up with me over the phone and ran off with his pregnant lover. Patrick is a disgrace and a shameless man. He deceived me and made me look like a fool. I'm so sorry, everyone." Her voice, though trembling, carried an air of dignity. She had been hurt, betrayed, but she stood tall, facing her heartbreak with grace and resilience. The guests, stunned by the unexpected turn of events, offered their condolences and support, their faces mirroring her own pain. As the realization of the day's tragic events sunk in, the joyous atmosphere dissolved, replaced by a somber silence. Coraline, though shattered, knew she would rise above this betrayal, her heart heavy, but her spirit undaunted. "You're free to go if you want to take your gifts back," Coraline said, her voice strained with a mixture of pain and resignation. "It's fine." The room fell silent, the festive atmosphere replaced by a heavy wave of pity for Coraline. Everyone looked at her with sympathy, their eyes filled with sorrow for the heartbroken bride. Patrick's family, visibly shaken and ashamed, offered their sincerest apologies. "We didn't raise him like that," they said, their voices heavy with regret. "We never intended for you to suffer." Coraline understood that Patrick's family was not to blame. With a heavy heart, she bid them farewell, her wedding dress a stark reminder of the shattered dreams that lay in ruins. She left the venue, her family offering support and comfort, their arms wrapped around her as she walked away. The following days were filled with sorrow and pain. Coraline's world had been turned upside down. Her parents and siblings did everything they could to comfort her, their love, a beacon in her darkness. Her friends rallied around her, offering unwavering support and companionship. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Patrick and Aurora boarded a plane, escaping to a new state, far from the disapproving glances and whispers of judgment. They started their lives anew, building a family together, their past a painful memory they left behind. Coraline, consumed by grief, battled with the crushing weight of her heartbreak. Tears flowed freely, and the wedding that never happened became a constant source of pain. Depression settled in, casting a dark shadow over her days. But Coraline was strong. 3 years later, after undergoing therapy and leaning on the unwavering support of her family and friends, she emerged from the darkness. She started running, pushing herself to the limit at the gym, pouring her energy into her studies and finding purpose in her new job. One day, at her new workplace, she met Lucas. He was young, elegant, handsome, and refined, a man from a wealthy family who owned the company. But despite his privileged background, he was humble and honorable. Coraline worked as Lucas's secretary. He treated her with kindness and respect, never abusing his position of power. He believed in equality and justice for everyone, regardless of their station in life. His warmth and kindness began to mend the wounds of the past, bringing light and hope back into Coraline's life. The tragedy of her wedding day had left its mark, but it had also forged her into a stronger, more resilient woman. The love and support of her family and friends, combined with her own determination, had helped her heal and move forward. And in the unexpected kindness of Lucas, Coraline saw a glimmer of hope for a future filled with love and happiness. Coraline never tried to hide her middle-class background. She was proud of her roots, her upbringing shaping the strong and independent woman she was. Over time, Lucas developed a deep affection for Coraline, his feelings growing stronger with each passing day. One day, summoning his courage, he asked, "Hello, Coraline. Would you like to go out with me sometime? Maybe hang out?" Coraline was touched and honored by his request. Respecting her boss, she accepted, though her heart remained guarded. The lingering pain of her wedding day betrayal had left her wary, her trust in men shattered. She preferred the simplicity of a single life, avoiding the complexities of relationships. Lucas noticed her hesitation, her guarded demeanor. He respected her feelings and chose not to pressure her, allowing their friendship to blossom organically. But her indifference only fueled his determination. He wouldn't give up on her. Their friendship deepened, filled with shared laughter, meaningful conversations, and a growing understanding of each other. Lucas's feelings for Coraline intensified, his love blossoming into an unwavering certainty. He organized a dinner at his home, hoping to create an intimate setting for a heartfelt confession. Over a candlelit meal, he poured out his heart. Coraline, I've been in love with you since the first time I saw you. I can't get you out of my head. Will you be my girlfriend? Coraline was deeply touched by his words, her heart fluttering with a mixture of surprise and delight. But she hesitated, her voice trembling. I'm very honored, Lucas, but you come from a high position, and I'm from a simple, humble family. I have no titles and wasn't born with a silver spoon like you. Are you sure about this? Lucas's face broke into a warm smile. Coraline, my parents were middle class, just like you. They worked hard to achieve what they have. They taught me so many valuable lessons. Thanks to them, I am the person I am today. I love you, and I want to make you happy. Coraline, having nurtured feelings for Lucas for some time, decided to take a leap of faith and accept his proposal. Lucas's family welcomed her with open arms, her warmth and kindness endearing her to his siblings and parents. They formed a close-knit family, embracing her as their own. Meanwhile, in another state, Patrick lived out his fairy tale with Aurora and their child. He missed his family, their presence a constant ache in his heart. He feared their judgment and disapproval, hesitant to return to his home state. His choice had come with a price, a constant reminder of the life he had left behind. Coraline, however, had found solace and happiness. The wounds of the past had healed, leaving behind a stronger and wiser version of herself. With Lucas by her side, she embraced a future filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. 2 years had flown by, filled with laughter, shared dreams, and a love that grew stronger with each passing day. One evening, at Lucas's home, surrounded by his loving family, Lucas knelt before Coraline, a shimmering wedding ring held out in his hand. Coraline, he said, his voice filled with emotion, will you marry me? Be my wife, the lady of my life. As Coraline gazed at the ring, a bittersweet mixture of sadness and joy washed over her. Seeing her reaction, Lucas's face clouded with concern. What's wrong, my love? He asked gently. Did I do something wrong? Tell me, and I'll fix it right away. Coraline, her heart heavy with the weight of her past, spoke softly. No, Lucas, you didn't do anything wrong, but seeing this ring brought back memories. Lucas's mother, her heart filled with compassion, stepped forward. What happened, my dear? She asked, her voice laced with concern. Explain it to us. Whatever it is, will help. Lucas echoed his mother's words. Tell us, my love. We're here to listen. We'll understand. And so Coraline shared her story, the pain and betrayal of her abandoned wedding, the deceit of her unfaithful fiancé, and the overwhelming sorrow that had consumed her. She spoke of the emptiness and heartbreak that followed, the long nights of tears, and the struggle to find her way back to happiness. Lucas and his family listened intently, their hearts aching for Coraline. They were moved by her story, offering comfort and understanding. When she finished, Lucas, his voice filled with empathy, said, My love, I know how you feel. I've been through that too. I know what it's like. Coraline's eyes widened in surprise. What do you mean, Lucas? She asked, her voice laced with disbelief. Someone in your position, with your status, who has everything? You couldn't possibly have gone through that. My God, the world is so small. Lucas, his voice trembling with emotion, shared his own story. I was about to get married 3 years ago, before I met you. My fiancée left me at the altar and ran off with an ex-boyfriend. Everything you suffered, I suffered too. I had depression, cried a lot, and even lost the meaning of my own life. But thanks to my family, I recovered, and now I'm here. I know how you feel because I felt it too. Coraline, her heart touched by his honesty and vulnerability, realized that their shared experiences had created an unbreakable bond. They had both walked through the darkness and emerged stronger, their hearts forever marked by the scars of betrayal, but also by the resilience of their love. Coraline, her hand clasped tightly in Lucas's, accepted his proposal with unwavering certainty. Standing before his family, her heart overflowing with love, she knew she had found her soulmate. After 6 months of meticulous planning, Lucas stood at the altar, his eyes filled with anticipation as he awaited his beloved. Coraline arrived, radiant in a breathtaking gown, and in the presence of their joyous families and cherished friends, they exchanged vows, their happiness palpable in the air. 3 months later, Coraline's pregnancy announcement brought an overwhelming wave of joy to Lucas, his heart bursting with love for his wife and their growing family. The prospect of parenthood filled them both with a sense of fulfillment, their love deepening with each passing day. Meanwhile, in another state, Patrick and Aurora lived their lives, seemingly content in their new family unit. But fate had a twist in store, a reminder of the past that would shatter their peaceful existence. One afternoon, as Aurora and Patrick were at home, a knock at the door sent a chill through Aurora's spine. Standing on their doorstep, a figure from her past materialized. Kai. I can't believe it, Aurora exclaimed, her voice laced with a mixture of fear and anger. How did you find me? And what are you doing here, you idiot? Kai, his expression a mixture of desperation and determination, replied, It doesn't matter how I found you. Where's our son? I want to see our son. Get out of here, Aurora screamed, her voice trembling with rage. Leave now. But Kai, his eyes fixated on Aurora, moved closer, his hand grasping her arm. It doesn't matter, he said, his voice a low growl. I want both of you, you and our son. I love you both. With a swift movement, Kai pulled Aurora into a tight embrace, his lips meeting hers in a passionate kiss. At that moment, Patrick arrived, his face contorted with disbelief and fury as he witnessed the scene unfolding before him. Aurora, he demanded, his voice laced with anger. What are you doing with this guy? I want an explanation. Kai, his voice dripping with sarcasm, addressed Aurora and Patrick. You traded me for this guy? A guy who left his fiancée at the altar and is raising another man's child? What an idiot are you? Patrick, fueled by anger, moved to confront Kai, but Aurora intervened, trying to calm the situation. However, Kai, his words laced with mockery, turned to Patrick. That boy you're raising isn't your son, he declared. I'm the real father of this child. Patrick's face paled, his world tilting on its axis. Aurora, he pleaded, his voice strained with disbelief. Tell me this is a lie. Aurora, her face flushed with shame and anxiety, was stammered, unable to form a coherent response. Kai, his voice cold and unwavering, continued. In fact, This woman was with you only to get money from you all these years. You can do a DNA test. She didn't tell me about the pregnancy, and I found out through a friend. She was with both of us, but the real father is me." Patrick's carefully constructed world crumbled around him. His carefully built life reduced to a house of cards. The truth, so devastatingly clear, left him reeling. Tears streamed down Patrick's face as he choked out, "How could you do this, Aurora? I left my future wife at the altar to be with you. I fled to another state, left everything for you, and this is how you repay me." Aurora, her own tears flowing freely, pleaded, "Think of the boy. He's not to blame for anything." Patrick, his voice filled with a mixture of pain and anger, replied, "Enough, Aurora. You won't manipulate me anymore. Here's the real father of this child. I'm not obligated to support a child that isn't mine, but since this house is in your name and I gave it to you as a gift, you can keep it. But my financial help is over." He turned and walked away, leaving behind the wreckage of his broken trust and a shattered family, the echoes of his pain ringing in the silence that followed. "I regret leaving a wonderful woman like Coraline for someone like you," Patrick declared, his voice thick with regret. "I'm going back to my home state to find Coraline and ask for her forgiveness. Your manipulation game is over, Aurora. I never want to see you again. Get out of my life." With a final, heart-wrenching glance at the boy, Patrick went to the bedroom, packed his bags, and left the house. He said goodbye to the child, acknowledging his innocence in the midst of the chaos. Aurora and Kai were left standing in the wreckage of their deceitful scheme. Kai, desperate to hold on to Aurora, attempted to embrace her, but she pushed him away, her frustration at her exposed plan simmering beneath the surface. Patrick boarded a plane, returning to his home state, ready to face the consequences of his actions. He found his friends turned their backs on him, his family rejecting him, the weight of their disapproval crushing him. He begged for news of Coraline, his voice choked with sobs, but no one would offer a word. He went to Coraline's family, seeking their forgiveness, but they mercilessly kicked him out. Only one friend, moved by Patrick's genuine remorse, provided Coraline's address, offering a grim warning, "You won't like what you see." Following the address, Patrick arrived at a grand mansion, a stark contrast to the life he had left behind. Standing on the doorstep, he witnessed a scene that ripped through his heart. Coraline, radiant and glowing, cradled her 7-month pregnant belly, her face beaming with happiness. Coraline answered the door, her surprise quickly replaced by a hint of bitterness. "Patrick," she said, her voice cool and distant. "It's been a while, huh? I haven't seen you since you left me at the altar and ran away with your pregnant mistress." Patrick, tears streaming down his face, fell to his knees. "Coraline, my love," he pleaded, "I came to ask for your forgiveness, a new chance to start over." His eyes fell upon her swollen belly, and a wave of realization crashed over him. "You're pregnant, Coraline." Coraline, her expression gentle and kind, replied, "Yes, I'm 7 months pregnant. I'm going to be a mother." The scene before him, a testament to the life he had so carelessly discarded, shattered Patrick's heart. The woman he loved, the woman he had so deeply hurt, was about to embark on a new journey, a journey that he had no part in. He was left with a crushing sense of regret, a painful reminder of the love he had lost and the life he had destroyed. Patrick felt a crushing weight of sadness and devastation as he witnessed the scene. "And your child with Aurora, your mistress, Coraline inquired. Aren't you the father? Tears streamed down Patrick's face as he choked out. That child wasn't mine. Aurora deceived me. I wasn't the father. It was all a scheme orchestrated by that wicked woman. Coraline offered a sympathetic, I'm sorry, Patrick, but now I'm married and happy. I've met an incredible man who truly loves me. And as you saw, I'm going to be a mother. Patrick fell to his knees, his voice filled with humility and sorrow. Coraline, please forgive me. Come back to me. We love each other. As I said, Aurora tricked me. That child wasn't mine. I promise everything will be different. I will never betray you or deceive you again. I now understand the pain you felt after discovering Aurora's treachery. Please leave this man, and if necessary, I will even raise the child growing inside you as if it were my own. I'm willing to do anything to get back with you. I still love you. You're the woman of my life. I haven't stopped thinking about you. Coraline's response was kind, but firm. Patrick, I forgave you a long time ago, but I don't love you anymore. You caused me so much pain and suffering. Now, I'm truly happy. I'm sorry. I wish you find love again, and that everything works out in your life. Please don't come back here. My husband wouldn't appreciate my ex-fiancée bothering us at our doorstep. Goodbye, Patrick. I wish you all the best, and may God bless you. Coraline slowly closed the door behind her, leaving Patrick alone on her doorstep. He wept uncontrollably, his heart heavy with sorrow and devastation. The echoes of Coraline's words on the day he'd run off with Aurora reverberated in his mind, fueling a deep remorse. He realized life had exacted a harsh price for his actions. Coraline, meanwhile, had blossomed into motherhood. Her son, a healthy baby boy, brought immense joy to her and Lucas. Life was full of happiness for them. Patrick, however, was left to face the bitter consequences of his choices. No woman was interested in him. His family had disowned him, and his friends had distanced themselves. He found himself isolated and alone. Despondent, Patrick sought refuge in anonymity, boarding a bus to a distant city. Each day was a painful reminder of Coraline, and he clung to a faded photograph from their engagement days as a bittersweet memento of what he had lost. Moral of the story: never forsake true love for the allure of fleeting passion. Betrayal and deception leave only emptiness and regret in their wake. The person who truly loves you may be gone, leaving behind a bitter taste of what could have been. True love endures hardship, trials, and tribulations, but it cannot withstand the corrosive effects of infidelity and betrayal. I hope you enjoyed this story, my friends. Explore other stories on our channel, appearing on your screen now. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like.